Hello, Adobe Target community. I thought I'd put together a quick video on the new VEC versus the old VEC. So when I say VEC, that's the Visual Experience Composer, the WYSIWYG editor that Adobe Target puts out there. So many of you may have known or may not know that Adobe is rolling out a new visual editor. Some folks have been frustrated with it, some folks welcome it. I've been using it for some of my accounts for a couple months now. My account on the left currently has the old VEC in place. And there were some lessons that I learned that I thought I'd pass along to make everyone's lives easier, especially if you make use of the VEC within Adobe Target. So what I thought I'd do is I set up two activities, one on the left, one on the right, using both the old and the new VEC. There are some pretty big differences, as you'll see, and Adobe is, I like that they're doing this. I've always, the old VEC has been fine, works great for me. I use it for lots of different things, for lots of different organizations, and I can get it to do whatever I need. The new VEC offers a lot of forward thinking, a lot of new potential to kind of integrate with the broader Adobe world. And I also know from a technology perspective, it was something that needs to be done, which is respectable and cool. So let me get into it. So on the left here is the old VEC within here. I'm using the Mia Provo homepage as the base page to set up this activity. So let me just rename this old VEC. I'll go here. You can kind of see some of the differences between new VEC with the user experience here. So this configure section is the same. Page delivery, this is where the test is running, any additional like rules like URL contains or any of that you'd like to include. Over here on the right, you've got page delivery. Same thing, just a little bit different of a UI where you could add in the rules in the same way to enable the enhanced composer here. Other things in here, single audience, multiple audiences. This is something very similar within here. Additional pages, additional audiences. I use these sections quite a bit. I had a little bit of trouble using multiple audiences on the right because it was a little confusing. I could get into more of an exact example, but I was able to get it to work. This is when you've got the same page, but different people coming to it. So for example, on the Mia Provo homepage, I might want to have a different experience for people who are Mia Provo users versus non-Mia Provo users, and use Adobe Target to control that. So it's within there. The biggest changes is within the VEC, within this section here where you go and modify. So I live in Chicago, and those that know me know that I enjoy the Chicago Cubs. So I'm just going to show this. Go Chicago Cubs. So those of you probably familiar with this. You do that sort of thing. You can kind of like remove content. So let me do two things here. Let me remove this section here, and now I'll go on the right. So here you don't have the right click, so there's a few things that can be done here. So we can go here and we can, let me make this wider. This is probably my only frustration really with the new VEC is that you really need to have a wide screen to do your thing, and also edit modifications within here. So I'm going to make this a little bit wider so we can do it. So here you can see we can kind of modify. This part is kind of cool. It's a little bit hidden to be able to realize that you can kind of do this. But go Chicago Cubs. Okay, so kind of cool that you can kind of modify it in line within here. But let me remove this section here. No, we need that. That's the DOM address here. So you can see how you need the wide screen because this component section, I guess you can move it over like this. Nah, too far. Okay. But you'll notice here, like if I select, let me do this. This Learn More button. So I get to Learn More here on the left, and I want to modify, let's say the styles. So Adobe brings this overlay where you can go in and modify all of the different kind of elements. I use this a lot to do different things, and it's very, very helpful and to be able to kind of coordinate all of that. So let's say I want to make the background green. Okay, so easy enough, done. Okay, so that's done, save. Now we got the green background there, quick and easy. Here's how it works in kind of the new world. So you come here, you click on this, then Adobe on the right, you can see here, brings up all the metadata, all the different options that were kind of over here. Let me go here. And you want to go to edit and you want to go to styles. All of these styles here, you can see kind of background, typography, position. They have all of that here down on the right. So that's how you would do it. So do this, and looks like we'll just have to select the green. And there you go. There's the green, the modification that's been made. So it's, I don't know, get started. So it kind of cool. I mean, I guess it kind of makes that a little bit more in your face where you have access to see all the different things versus having to go, okay, here, and then edit, and then go to styles. So it's kind of cool. All of that's kind of up there and kind of available in your face, I guess, to use it. A few other things. So we want to remove this section. So we come here. We can go to delete. So that does that. We can also go here, and we can modify the HTML this way as well. So this is like an HTML editor. There's not that kind of, I wouldn't say confusing, but if you go here and you go edit text to HTML, you're editing the text, but you got to click here's the HTML. In the new world, you go here, you modify the to HTML. There's not edit text. If you want to edit the text, you have to click in it and just do your modifications like that. Here you can kind of insert different things. Like, for example, you select this and you want to insert new HTML. You can append that HTML there and insert before, and put your hello world. I don't know if I see myself using this. This is to replace like the insert before, insert after. I personally probably want to have greater control. So what I probably would do is select the component like this, and then I would just select the HTML and insert my HTML manually. But this is another option as well to kind of do all those sorts of things. One of the biggest things that was kind of confusing, and I know Adobe is going to be putting this back in, is over here you can use layout and you can do rearrange. Love this. This is totally cool. I just moved a whole section below here. These are fun, easy, low-hanging fruit things that you can just get out there and learn and just see if it makes a difference. I highly encourage these tests. Fun, quick, easy to do that. So that whole section, that whole like rearrange, that is not there, but I'm told it's coming back. So let me try to select it here. You can see here, come on. Let me come here, select this one now. Okay, what does this do? So this is where you can kind of replace the content, but I want to rearrange it, like move it down and around. So I guess what you can do is get this HTML. So you can grab the HTML, you can kind of cut it, do that, save, so that's gone. And then you can kind of like do the insert before. So actually, let me just do this. This is a good example of me pushing them in. So doing it manually that way. So obviously I got to clean up the CSS selectors and the divs. It's probably this hello world that I've got in here that's screwing it up here. Let me try removing that. Oh, anyways, it's a CSS thing. So let me also inject custom code. This is by far my probably biggest tip for those that are actively use the VEC and use custom code. So all the time here, we go here and let's say I want to do something. So we can edit, or we bring up this code section here. So here you can see the list of changes that take place, which I love. I come here and I modify this stuff like crazy. Make sure it's got the right selector, it's modifying what I need, all that good stuff. I was kicking myself. I couldn't find where to go with this. So if you click on Show Modifications, that's where it's at. That lost me. I couldn't figure out because I'm used to having that on the right. But here it is on the right where you can modify your different things. So totally cool, no loss of functionality. One thing that I would love Adobe to do, I love this. I make this modifications. I would love to adjust the order of these different things that take place. So I'm just going to show you something here quick. Here's the Mia Prova Chrome extension. Refresh the page. Bring this all into the browser. Okay, so what we have here is a list of all the different activities that are taking place on the site, and the order of things from top to bottom. So let me find an activity that's doing something. So if there's a modification, of course, default content. If there's a modification, of course, I'm getting default content. So anyways, what I was trying to highlight in the Chrome extension is a list. Adobe will apply these modifications from top to bottom. Sometimes you have a user that comes in and modifies something down here and then scrolls up and modifies something here, and it doesn't work. So it would be really, really cool to adjust the order of things, maybe a drag and drop. Same thing here. Obviously, the old VEC is going away, but this is something I felt would have been valuable to have with the old VEC. Hopefully, we get to see this in the new VEC, which is pretty cool. But let's say you want to add in a new modification within here. So where is it? Oop, I want to go here. Well, this is where you can select and delete a particular one. But let me add a new modification. Where was that? I don't want to select it. Maybe because I'm selecting something here within here. So select this. Add a modification. So here I'm going to add a modification. Let's do custom code. Let's do script console.log hello world script. So a lot of people may not know this, but you can use the VEC to do kind of form-based behaviors, things like that. So you'll notice it defaults that's kind of hidden. Okay. When you come back to edit the activity or do something here, you need to click on this to kind of see and find the different things that you want to modify and adjust, what have you. So that's the first section. I got to jump for a meeting in 2 minutes, but I will add another component here because this next section here, whoa, way different. And I want to make sure you guys got kind of see how the lessons that I've learned with that. Okay, so you'll notice it's been a few days since the first part of the video. Been busy on some other projects, but I wanted to conclude this and just add a few more tips here, especially for this second section within Adobe Target. So here I've got my different experiences, and by the way, I am fully on. I no longer have access to the old VEC, so I am 100% using this. The little toggle is gone. So I did want to share some things really helpful here. Adjusting the percentages are the things that we do here, as well as adjust who's getting in the activity. It took me forever. I'm like, click, 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 nothing, click, click. You could just rename the experiences here, whatever. I kind of dig this whole thing and can kind of see some future things where you can kind of map visitors into different experiences on a broader canvas, which is kind of cool. But to adjust the percentages here, you have to click on traffic allocation. Here's where you can do that. You can adjust whether it's a auto allocate, which I'm a big fan of, auto target, which is part of the automated personalization. Ooh, what is that? Oh, shoot. Why do they allow me to do that there? Well, that's weird. So don't do that unless you want to delete this kind of experiences. But you can see the percentages are there. You can see they still haven't figured out the decimal point to do equally. So it rounds up, choose one to be 34, so you can get to your 100%. So everything within there, except for naming, is over here. Then the audiences here, you're like, okay, I want to target this to certain traffic. So this one, the 100%, okay, so where do we change the 100%? Okay, there's the 100%. But now we want to switch this, let's say, to a particular audience. How do you do it? It looks like there's to me, it looks like a recycle icon, but this is the icon to replace the audience within there. So that's where you could go in, select your audience to do what have you. So kind of some substantial changes given the old Adobe Target experience. So again, click on traffic allocation this. You'll get used to this probably after the first a few activities. This next section's pretty much the same, just a different like components it looks like here. It looks like I've got to get CJA added back in because I had that integrated as well. But yeah, that's about it. Let me go back and show you the reporting too. I've got a lot of really cool examples here. A for T and non A for T reporting. Reporting's a little bit different to get used to it. So you can see the navigation reports used to be up there. Clicking on reports here. And so it just looks like different components. I like this. This needed a facelift, and this is pretty cool to get that within here. Looks like you got all the same functionality to download, switching your counting methodology, environments. Love extreme values. Not enough people geek out about that. That's maintained. All that, as well as downloading the data to a CSV. Let's see. Graph is over here as well. You can see a breakdown of everything over time, which is pretty cool. I love to see unique visitors, and then I like to see daily, so I can see participation over time. That's one of my favorite graphs. But yeah, clean, solid, and Adobe's can maintain the support to kind of remove the different experiences. We have this in Mia Prova, and I'm a big fan of that. So that's it as far as like updates. The VEC is going to be continually updated with new features and functionality. But hopefully this gives you a little bit of help in this new world that we're in.